It is impossible to see two worlds. What's good, fam? Today we will be studying lesson 130 of A Course in Miracles, and we are going to understand more deeply that we only have two options to choose from: God or the ego, what is or what is not, love, fear, heaven, hell, positive, negative, whatever you would like to call the two options that we have is irrelevant, but we only have two, and it is impossible to see both of those worlds at the same time. We are either deciding at any moment in time to see this or to see this. Now, what most people in the world are living, including ourselves from time to time when we fall asleep, is fear, worry, doubt, etc. And although situations occur in our life that we believe we didn't create, we did, first of all, and those situations that are occurring that cause us to be in fear and panic and anger and doubt, that's a choice. And we wouldn't call that a choice if we were not aware of what we're discussing here now. Because we're aware of what we're discussing here now, because we're aware of what we've been discussing for the past 130 days, me and you are aware that we have a choice 24/7, all day, every day. At every single instant, we are choosing, whether we're aware that we're making any decisions or not, we are choosing between one of those two worlds that we just discussed. So let's go ahead and open up the book. And if you don't got the book yet, the PDF is in the description. And let's go ahead and begin. Lesson 130. It is impossible to see two worlds. Perception is consistent. What you see reflects your thinking, and your thinking but reflects your choice of what you want to see. Your values are determiners of this, for what you value, you must want to see. Believing what you see is really there. No one can see a world in his mind has not accorded value. One more time. No one can see a world his mind has not accorded value, and no one can fail to look upon what he believes he wants. So we're going to take Timothy, for example, whoever that may be. Okay, we have Timothy in this example, and Timothy believes that what he wants is outside of himself. Timothy believes that there is this thing that is going to make him feel better. This amount of status is going to make him feel more seen. This individual is going to make him feel loved. This situation that he wants to occur is going to make him feel this way. Or opposite, this situation that's occurring, Timothy is getting angry and frustrated, and he sees this person over there, he's getting jealous, etc. Now, that's Timothy. And a few of those examples, the first few, are he was seeing things that he wanted, meaning that person over there that he wanted, or that material object, or that status. He values those things. Timothy values those things. And it states right here, no one can see a world his mind is not accorded value, and no one can fail to look upon what he believes he wants. So because Timothy values what he's giving his value to and what he wants, he is going to only see that. Therefore, he is going to remain in the world of illusions because he believes that there is something outside of himself that can change his nature. He believes there's something outside of him that could change him from being upset to happy, from being broke to abundant, from being this to that. And he is only going to see that. Now, because no one can see a world his mind has not accorded value, Timothy has not accorded value to the world that me and you are in right now because he is unaware of its presence. Timothy doesn't know who he is, doesn't know that he is love and light and spirit. He believes that he's this body, and he's looking at other bodies for salvation, for happiness, for status, etc. And because no one can fail to look upon a world that he does not accord value because he is unaware that it exists, he is not going to see it. And that's what's happening with all the Timothys out there, is they are perceiving a world, because remember, perception is consistent, and what you see reflects your thinking. What the world sees reflects the world's thinking, and the world's thinking, but reflects their choice of what they want to see, meaning the world is choosing to see a worried, doubt, fearful, chaotic world. They are choosing that. The world is choosing that because me and you have free will. Maybe they're not aware of the decisions that they're making, but they're making the decisions because no one could impose something into their experience that they did not choose. So, although they could be aware that they're choosing this unwanted experience, they are choosing it. That is just a given. You cannot change that. Anything that me and you are experiencing, we created and we are choosing, and we can change that at any moment in time unless we believe that it's happening to us. Then we're vulnerable. We're not at the cause of our world, and something outside of ourselves can and is responsible for making us feel the way we feel. Another way of saying it is something outside of us is responsible for the effect. We're the effect. The world is the cause of the effect that I feel. And you can choose to be that individual who is powerless, but me and you don't want to be powerless. Me and you desire to be in our right mind where all the power is. Now, because me and you know that we are the only ones who ever create what's happening right now, and we are co-creators with the rest of this world, and we have accepted responsibility of everything that is occurring in our lives right now and ever has occurred and ever will occur, whether it's wanted or unwanted. We are taking responsibility for that, because if we don't, then we are at the effect of nothing. Literally, the world is nothing. It is dust. We are at the effect of dust. Me and you are at the effect of this world that we value, that we think is capable of harming us. That is not so. Now, I'm sure me and you know that by now, but the world still does not know that. They are at the effect of themselves. They are at the effect of the world that they made in their mind, and they think that something outside of themselves is possible and capable of inflicting danger and worry and doubt and fear on them, or is capable of inflicting love and peace and joy on them, but they need those conditions to come about in order to feel whole and love and joy. And that is just not so. Me and you are the cause, and me and you are whole and pure love and light, and it cannot be stated enough, because up until this moment in time, me and you have forgot this for a large portion of our life, and we continuously forget this after me and you go our separate ways. We continuously fall back asleep and go in our illusions, and I'm sure that by now me and you are getting the sense of catching it whenever we're asleep. Whenever we are identifying with the ego, we have been getting it, and we're doing a better job than ever before, but we are not fully anchored in the state of mind yet, which means that me and you still have some stuff to learn. Me and you think we have learned a lot. Me and you think that we have unlearned a lot of the junk. Me and you think that we know a lot based off the information that's in our presence, but we do not know. We do not know what we don't know. There's so much out there that we are unaware of. There's belief systems that me and you hold still that we are unaware exist within us, and we can't transcend those if we are not aware what they are. We cannot be free in any moment when those beliefs are emerging to the surface and bubbling up forth whenever something outside in the world, which is just a simple symbol, is reflecting back to us our thoughts about that, and that belief system starts bubbling up and getting us irritated or upset in any form of upset that it may take. We cannot be free unless we understand why we are feeling that way. And we are feeling that way not because something out there is making us feel that way, but because me and you have given the meaning to that thing that we think is making us feel that way. And whenever we remove the meaning from that thing that is pushing our buttons, and whenever we see it for what it really is, and we remove that button completely, understanding that me and you are one with all aspects of creation, and one with our creator, and one in love, peace, and joy always and for eternity, then we no longer have no buttons to push, and we are free, eternally free. We are eternally free right now, but we have forgotten, which is why me and you are having this conversation right now. So some stuff that we should keep in mind, correct? Let's continue. Yet, who can really hate and love at once? Who can desire what he does not want to have reality? And who can choose to see a world of which he is afraid? Fear must make blind, for this its weapon is. That which you fear to see you cannot see. Love and perception thus go hand in hand, but fear obscures in darkness what is there. Now, I do want to say right here it states, who can choose to see a world of which he is afraid? Fear must make blind. Now, the ego, which is who we think we are, the world believes that they're this tiny little self image that is not enough or more than enough, whatever one, they're both forms of fear. The world believes that this is who they are. Now, this is in darkness because you can't see the real world while you're identifying with the world of illusion. Now, what's happening is whenever someone comes to them with knowledge and information of this magnitude, stating love is all that there is, that sounds goofy to someone who is in the world of illusions, and it sounds like they can't even comprehend it. Remember, words are just symbols. All these words that are being presented to us in the course are just symbols guiding us to experience a state of mind. They are not the state of mind itself, but it's guiding us to that state of mind. Although if someone is misperceiving the words, they are going to fail to be guided in the right direction, because you cannot see two worlds at once. You are either seeing the world of I am not enough, or I am an equivalent counterpart of everyone here. We are all equivalent counterparts. We are all equal with one another. We are not these bodies, and we are not more or less based off of the material things that we have in this world. Now, if somebody believes that, then they are still in the world of fear, and knowledge of this sort is going to make them afraid, because remember this, they believe they're the ego, and the ego is afraid of love, because love will dispel the ego. Love will literally prove that the ego is non-existent. The ego is simply a belief that is not real. Remember, what we're discussing right here, right now, is not a belief. This is just truth. Me and you have to do nothing to believe this. This is just how things work, and we're being made aware of it. Now, the belief that the ego exists is just that. It is only a belief, and it needs to continuously justify its existence, because if it didn't justify its existence, then it would be no longer there, because it is not truth. It is not eternal. It is not real. It is an insane thought that me and you have been identifying with our whole life, and still continue to do to this day stubbornly. Now, because the world is identifying with this ego, the ego, again, is afraid of love, because love will dispel the ego, meaning although someone may hear the word love and light and what we're discussing, and it may not mean nothing to them, the intention behind it, whenever they really get a true glimpse of this, it's something that they are made afraid of. And a good example of this, we're going to use an analogy that the Course uses, is that whenever there is an individual who is sleeping on the bed in real life, they're sleeping, their body is sleeping, and they're dreaming, and they're having a nightmare. If I were to go up to them, and flash a light on them, like, yo, wake up, you're having a nightmare. If your eyes are closed and you're dreaming a fearful dream, and someone's flashing a light at you, that in that fearful state of mind, you are most likely going to interpret that light as fearful. And that's what's happening right here and right now with most of the world and me and you whenever we are in our illusions. It states, who can choose to see a world of which he is afraid? There is so many people out there who are identifying with this belief system that is false, and they are afraid to see the light. So they push it away at any chance they get by looking at it as irrelevant, because if they were to really be in the presence of it, it would kill their ego. It would challenge them to have to change the way they've thought their entire life, and that's hard. That's challenging to do, and I'm sure you've experienced that. I know I have. My whole life, I thought this way about myself and about the world, and now I'm being presented with information that is telling me that it was all false and it was all unnecessary. That could hurt your ego, because me and you, while identifying with the ego, want to be right, and we'd rather be right than happy. So that's what's happening with most of the world right now, is they'd rather be right than happy. So whenever they are being presented with a new thought system that is basically stating, hey, the way you've been thinking your entire life is false and incorrect and is really not what is happening here, then they feel challenged, they feel threatened, and they don't know who they really are, because who they really are cannot be threatened. Who they really are is who me and you really are. Who they really are is love and light. Who they really are is who God created them to be and is invulnerable. But because they believe that they're the ego, which is who they are not, that self-image that they made for themselves can be threatened, which is why they are going to do anything at all cost to protect that self-image that they made in order to be right and stay in their fear, stay in their pain, stay in their insecurities and worries and doubts, or their glorification and their better than you. That's where they want to stay. But remember, anyone who believes that they're better than someone is also afraid. That is a form of fear, because you believe that now something that happens is whenever you see someone who believes that they're better than everyone else, that's a belief system that they have to continuously work at to uphold, which takes a lot of unnecessary effort. It's taking a lot of all your energy creation, and all that powerful energy that you are is leaking out just to hold up that false belief system, when all that powerful energy can be directed and emitted towards something else that would be of actual benefit. But no, you can't create substantially in your life, because all of your power is going towards upholding a belief system that is false. Even me and you, although you may not believe that you're better than anyone, but let's just say you believe that you're not enough and you feel less than anyone, that's also wasting as much of your power, because thinking I'm not enough takes effort to think, because it is not true. Therefore, you have to continuously perpetuate that belief system. You have to keep feeding that belief system. And by you feeding that belief system, all your power is going in that direction to uphold this belief system, when it could be going towards creating substantially and beautiful things and creating. But instead, all our power is going in directions trying to uphold a world that is not real. Therefore, we're powerless. We have not been creating as well as we could in this world, whatever that looks like for you, because we're too busy trying to uphold this belief system in our mind. So by the time night falls and we're exhausted and we're tired, we look at ourselves and if we really ask, and if the world really asks, why am I so tired? I didn't do nothing today. And it's because their thoughts are so exhausting by trying to uphold this false belief system. You're exhausted. You need to go to sleep and release some resistance, because whenever you go to sleep, all thought subsides and you put a pause, so to speak, and you finally allow your mind to rest. Now, me and you know, we can allow our minds to rest right now. We can meditate. We can focus all our attention on one thing, such as painting, or some people like doing the dishes, and that's meditative for them. Ironing is meditative. Focusing your attention on one thing can be considered meditating. Or whenever you get to a state of mind of enlightenment like we are right now, our minds are at peace. Although it appears like I'm talking fast because I am excited to present this information, my mind is at rest right now. It's taking no effort for me to do what I'm doing right now, because this is happening from a state of truth, and knowing who I really am and knowing who you really are takes no energy, because that is just what is. And whenever we get better and better at this, me and you are going to unlock some really cool superpowers in this physical world, one of which being needing little to no rest and still being fully active, because me and you know how to control where our attention is going, and you can be up for days on end and still be wide awake as if you just woke up from the best sleep ever, because that is who you are. You are eternal. By me and you understanding who we really are, we have so much that we can begin to portray in this world. We have so much to create. There's so much powers that me and you have. We're not going to get into all that right now, but just know that they are there, and we will discuss them further whenever the time is right. But for now, let's still make sure to understand that we're in the unlearning process right now. We can't learn how to use our powers whenever we still believe in fear, because you're going to not be able to use all your power if you still believe in fear. Me and you still have to undo all of our belief systems that we have, so that way we can return to who we really are. And only whenever we return to who we really are on a basis that we're anchored in that state, then can we finally create. Most people are doing the opposite. Most people hear the word manifesting and they're like, oh my gosh, manifesting. I'm going to go manifest this and this and this and that. But they're going about it backwards because they still don't know who they are yet. So they still have all the worry and doubt and fear. Therefore, they're manifesting stuff in the world to make them feel better about themselves and make them feel more enough, when really that is, one, hindering their creation process, their manifesting process, and two, that is not the spiritual mountaintop, if you will. That is not the highest of highs when you know how to manifest. Because yes, of course, we all know that thought creates form on some level, but whenever you're still identified with the ego and you know that thought creates form on some level, you're still going to be trying too hard to create, and you're going to be creating things that you think you need. But whenever you are pure in your state of mind of who you really are, now can you finally direct your thoughts and attention towards where you would like them to go, and have that come about much more quicker, much more effortlessly, and you're fine if it comes about or not, because you know who you are. It's a beautiful state of mind that me and you are returning to. But for now, let's go ahead and continue. What then can fear project upon the world? What can be seen in darkness that is real? Truth is eclipsed by fear, and what remains is but imagined. So another good analogy before we continue, it states right here, truth is eclipsed by fear, and what remains is but imagined. So if you think of an actual solar eclipse, let's just look at the sun as truth. It is the source of light. It is who we really are. And you have the sun right there being blocked and eclipsed from the moon, which the moon in this analogy can represent, it states right here, fear. The moon could represent fear. Whenever you see a solar eclipse, now you can think of that analogy. The moon could represent fear, and whenever you see fear, it's eclipsing truth, because you can't see the truth that lies beyond it, although it still is there. Truth is eclipsed by fear, and what remains is but imagined. Yet, what can be real in blind imaginings of panic born? What would you want that this is shown to you? What would you wish to keep in such a dream? Fear has made everything you think you see. All separation, all distinctions, and the multitude of differences you believe make up the world, they are not there. Love's enemy has made them up. Yet love can have no enemy, and so they have no cause, no being, and no consequence. They can be valued, but remain unreal. That's powerful. All of our illusions can be valued, but remain unreal. By me and you valuing our illusions of ourselves, thinking that we are better than or less than or whatever form that fear may take, by me and you valuing our illusions, we are using all of our effort and power to uphold a belief system that's not really there, when we could let that go and be in our right state of mind and actually do something worth our time. Because that belief system is just unreal. There's no point to uphold it. They can be sought, but they cannot be found. Today, and one more thing that I do want to say before we continue, the ego's doctrine, again, seek but do not find. It states illusions can be sought, but they cannot be found. So you're going to continue to seek and seek and seek, but you're not going to find what you're looking for. Today, we will not seek for them, nor waste this day in seeking what cannot be found. It is impossible to see two worlds which have no overlap of any kind. Seek for the one, the other disappears, but one remains. They are the range of choice beyond which your decision cannot go. The real and the unreal are all there are to choose between, and nothing more than these. The only two options me and you have to choose from is real and unreal. That's it. And one is going to bring you peace, and one is going to bring you fear. Today, we make no attempt to compromise where none is possible. The world you see is proof you have already made a choice as all-embracing as its opposite. What we would learn today is more than just the lesson that you cannot see two worlds. It also teaches that the one you see is quite consistent from the point of view from which you see it. It is all a piece. It is all a piece because it stems from one emotion and reflects its source in everything you see. That's powerful and definitely requires some more focused attention in order to grasp the magnitude of that sentence. But let's continue. 6 times today, in thanks and gratitude, we gladly give 5 minutes to the thought that ends all compromise and doubt and go beyond them all as one. We will not make 1,000 meaningless distinctions nor attempt to bring with us a little part of unreality, as we devote our minds to finding only what is real. Begin your searching for the other world by asking for a strength beyond your own and recognizing what it is you seek. You do not want illusions, and you come to these 5 minutes emptying your hands of all the petty treasures of this world. You wait for God to help you as you say. It is impossible to see 2 worlds. Let me accept the strength God offers me to see no value in this world, that I may find my freedom and deliverance. God will be there, for you have called upon the great unfailing power which will take this giant step with you in gratitude, nor will you fail to see his thanks expressed in tangible perception and in truth. You will not doubt what you will look upon, for thought is perception. It is not the kind of seeing that your eyes alone have ever seen before. And you will know God's strength upheld you as you made this choice. Dismiss temptation easily today whenever it arises, merely by remembering the limits of your choice, which is you're choosing either between real or unreal, reality or unreality, love or fear. Not a hard decision to make. You have 2 choices. Dismiss temptation easily today whenever it arises by merely remembering the limits of your choice. The unreal or the real, the false or true is what you see and only what you see. Perception is consistent with your choice, and hell or heaven comes to you as one. You cannot have both. You're either going to experience hell or heaven, and it is not a thing or a state of mind you can see with your physical eyes. It is a state of mind that you're experiencing. You are either choosing heaven or hell. 2 options, choose wisely. Except a little part of hell is real, and you have damned your eyes and cursed your sight, and what you will behold is hell indeed. Yet the release of heaven still remains within your range of choice to take the place of everything that hell would show to you. All you need to say to any part of hell, whatever form it takes, is simply this: it is impossible to see 2 worlds. I seek my freedom and deliverance, and this is not a part of what I want. Now, this was a very powerful lesson, like all of them. We are going to dwell upon this lesson today, and it states that me and you have 6 practice periods today. We are going to give thanks, and we are going to undertake these lessons as the lesson states. And again, like always, watch the magic happen, because what we are doing here is powerful. We are finally deciding correctly in our right mind, because what we have been doing our whole life was not deliberate. It was just all unawareness. We have been unaware, making decisions, unaware of our decision-making process. Now me and you can choose wisely, and it's not a hard choice, because like we just read, we have 2 choices: reality, unreality, love, fear, heaven, hell. We are the deciders of which one we experience, and that is it for today. So let's go ahead and enjoy our practice periods today, and we will meet here again tomorrow for lesson 131. And until then, may we never be the same.